visiting here with Evelyn and Willie Robinson at New Life Harvest Ministry in Marks Village, part of Birmingham, Gate City. And really glad to be with you guys today. Tell us a little bit about your work that you do here.
Well, we're New Life Harvest Ministries, as you said, is an outreach ministry that's located in this housing community. And our purpose here is to shine some light into a place that's been shrouded in darkness. As most people know, Marks Village has a reputation, or has had a reputation, of being a terribly dark place. And my wife and I were called here, it's the only way I can describe it, to work with the people in the community, because we, through our ministry effort, wound up here and discovered that it wasn't really a bad place as it was made out to be. When we moved here, we had been working in this community for 4 years, driving in and doing children's Bible club and outreaches. When we moved into the community, it changed the whole complex of how we related to people.
They began to trust you more.
Well, first, they didn't think we were going to last. They thought...
Now, the kids had a bet on us.
Yeah, I think the longest time that anybody was betting we would make it was about a week.
A week.
But
it's been 8 years?
No, it's been 4 years.
4 years.
That we lived here.
Why in the world would you sell your house and make a commitment to come to Birmingham, Alabama for 2 years?
That's a good question that doesn't seem to have a logical answer.
To give them some help in improving their life, not just their spiritual life, but if it's job skills or education for the children or whatever, to use what God has given us to bless someone else.
Are you seeing results? Any of the kids in particular that maybe are a story of saying, yeah, you should have seen little Johnny come in and now he's just cruising with this stuff. Any story?
Makes me think of that one little boy who took us through the ringer for a couple weeks, but after he was convinced that we were real, we cared about him, we were firm when we said no, and still showed him love. He's a different boy most days now. And that's encouraging to see.
Sitting with Sylvia Miller.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself.
I moved up here after our divorce 23 years ago. And out of those 23 years, I used to be a workaholic, and then I got hooked up with the wrong people and became a 10-year drug addict. And being a drug addict for 10 years, that's, much of my life in those 10 years I can't even remember.
Marijuana, crack.
Marijuana, alcohol, cocaine, from going to snorting it to smoking it. And I just got tired. And the Lord, the first time I heard the Lord speak to me when he said Luke chapter 5. And I said, Luke chapter 5, I didn't understand what it was. And what made me think it was the Bible was the chapter part. And I opened the Bible and didn't read it. And I just let it lay there on the table for maybe a week. And I'll never forget when I was sitting on the porch and I heard the music. And I asked my neighbor, I said, do you hear that music? She said, no. And I kept hearing the music. And I got up and started walking. And that music led me to Pastor Willie and Miss Evelyn. And that's when the change started beginning. We went through some times. I took them through some rough times, you know, rebelling. And me and Miss Evelyn bumped heads. And me and Pastor Willie, I can always talk to Pastor Willie. He was always there. I mean, always there, no matter what.
Steady rock.
Ooh. He was truly a man of God. He truly is a man of God. And I've been with the ministry for the last going on 4 years.
So what are you doing? What are you doing with the
I
kids?
teach Bible to 5- and 6-year-old on Tuesdays. Then plus I dedicate my time on Thursdays to volunteer for the free clinic.
Okay.
to help them with the kids through their medication.
The health clinic.
Yeah, the health clinic, yeah. And I love it. I love doing it for the Lord. I glorify Him. I don't want to do it for no one but Him. And I thank Him to this day because He chose me. Because if I had left up to me, I'd be somewhere dead in my grave. But God chose me out of the world. And I thank Him for that. And I thank Him for Pastor Willie. And I thank Him for Miss Evelyn and for the wonderful work that they're doing through this community and the surrounding community, not only Gate City, the surrounding community. And I just thank the Lord that they were answered to a prayer because I asked Him years ago to send someone to save the children.
I just graduated from high school last year, and so I just decided to come down here to Birmingham and be a volunteer for a year.
What are you doing? What kind of stuff do you do with the kids, with the computers, with the community? How do you spend your time?
Well, some days I spend it in the office, just writing letters, thank you letters, making name tags for the kids at King's Kids, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays I help out with the King's Kids Club. I teach the 7- and 8-year-old class, and then on Thursdays I just help out with the teens.
Why would you leave stuff in Pennsylvania, come down here to Alabama?
Well, growing up, well, all through high school basically, my youth group would take mission trips. We went to a couple of different cities in the north, and I've always just been interested in the city scene, and I enjoy, serving people and helping people out. And I knew I didn't want to go to college after I graduated, and I just felt God was telling me to come here and give my life, of service here for a year. So, yeah.
We have living with us now a family that has been restored. Both the husband and wife, well, the man and the woman have both been through treatment. In order to do that, they had to let their children go into a home, and those are the children we picked up yesterday. And they both graduated from their programs. They were actually separating to achieve their goal of getting off of drugs. And that separation is actually what they needed in order to bring them back together. And they're a couple that had been living together for 11 years, had 4 children, they weren't married. And as soon as the day after they both graduated, they went and got married. So now they're a new married couple, they're a whole family. That's what we do is all about, to see the joy of a family coming together and reuniting them. There's no feeling, there's nothing like it to see what has happened with that couple. And they're living here now in preparation of getting jobs and working and getting their own homes so that they can start their lives. And that's what we're here for. That's the joy.
To see their children last night when we were driving back, they kept saying, "Mommy, Daddy, where are we going to live? Where are we going to live?" And when we turned to come down this street, and they kind of dropped like, "Oh no, we're going back to Gate City." And then when they walked in here and they saw the big old table that looks like a family table and the hutch, and I saw them, they went upstairs and they looked and they saw the bedroom upstairs with the nice bunk bed and the soft, comfortable bed, and they went, "This is my room." And it was like coming back to the old neighborhood and showing them that it can be good here. It can still happen. A family, it can still happen here in Marks Village. And
we're here today to let this program, it works. It's a good program. I mean, I don't think couldn't have did it without this program.
Each person is important in God's eyes, and whether they live in Marks Village or in Birmingham or throughout the world, each person is important, and God's called us to share His love to those people.
I think it's important that we are obedient to whatever God's, saying. It's not everyone's thing to come to Marks Village, but wherever God is calling to respond to that and not hold back and say, "I can't do this" or "I can't do that," because it isn't so much our skills, it's our availability, our willingness to be used however God desires. And the rewards are great.
One thing is, I really enjoy kids, and I've seen that, sometimes they tend to be neglected, and, they're not given the kind of love that they need. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed, is being able to show that love to them just by, giving them a hug, smiling, talking to them. That's one thing that probably sticks out to me the most, is the amount of, or the lack of love that they get in their family sometimes.
We moved to Gate City, and my daughter got involved with the children's program, and my daughter would come to church here, and so it was mostly through my daughter that we got to know Sister Evelyn and Pastor Willie, and she wanted her parents off drugs, so she came to her and asked could she help.
Because if I had left up to me, I'd be somewhere dead in my grave. But God chose me out of the world, and I thank Him for that. And I thank Him for Pastor Willie, and I thank Him for Miss Evelyn, and for the wonderful work that they're doing through this community and the surrounding community, not only Gate City, the surrounding community. And I just thank the Lord that they were answered to a prayer, because I asked Him years ago to send someone to save the children.
Janice, I can't emphasize enough that these folks are giving their whole lives to make a difference in that community, reminding us all that making a difference is an attitude. It's a way of life.
It's certainly a powerful story.